Sean, dinner's ready.
Hold on, I'm doing some close reading.
I brought you your dinner, Sean. Here you go, my mans.
Oh, good looks, dog.
What the hell are you reading?
Chill. Looking at how E.L. James asserts the meaning of the text, disregarding outside sources of information.
And how am I supposed to know what that means?
Because you are in AP Literature.
Have you ever heard the saying, "Don't judge a book by its cover"? Well, according to New Criticism, you should evaluate books based only on the text itself, forgetting about where the author lives or even who the author was, whether the author was rich or whether the author was poor, or whether they were a man or a woman. We put our emotions aside because if we give in to our emotional reactions, then we are less likely to fully understand the text. Throughout the novel, the reader is offered 5 different perspectives of the story. Diction throughout the book varies depending on the character. It shifts from formal to informal because the characters have different perspectives. Rachel's narrative includes a lot more grammatical errors and complaints as opposed to the other narrators. Leah's narrative is smooth and keeps the plot moving with her use of a lot of stories. Ada's narrative includes the most details. She uses a lot of imagery and usually has the longest paragraphs. Since Ruth May is the youngest of her sisters, her narratives are more lighthearted than the others. You hear the stories from a naive, innocent voice. Orleana's narratives offer a concise overview of all that has gone on in each chapter. Orleana's narratives are always written from the future. All of the narratives offer a change in tone, diction, pace, and writing style.
Formalism is, Drew?
Yeah, I get it. Opened up a whole new world to me.
Well, that's a good thing, because you got a lot of AP Lit work tonight. Here you
I'll
go.
be on it right away.
What are you guys talking about?
50 Shades of Grey.
Formalism, actually, Drew. Did you not hear what we were talking about?
What is formalism?
Originally taken from Russian formalism was a term used to describe the work by the Society of the Study of Poetic Language. The Society for the Study of Poetic Language was founded in 1916 in St. Petersburg, Russia, by Boris, Viktor Shklovsky, and Yuri Timonov. Shklovsky was the leader of this society. He also created 2 of the most well-known concepts, defamiliarization and plot story distinction. Defamiliarization is one of the crucial ways in which literary language distinguishes itself from ordinary communicative language, and it is a feature of how art in general works, namely by presenting the world in a strange and new way that allows us to see things differently. On the other hand, plot and story distinction separates out the sequence of events the work relates to the story from the sequence in which those events are presented in the work. Formalism is the study of the text without taking into account outside influence. And in the novel, Ruth May says, "My sisters have to sit and have their school, and I have to color and learn my letters." This quote from Ruth May shows that she is young because she still has to color and learn her letters. By this, we can infer that she's probably the youngest and she has older sisters, also how childlike the sentences are. Leah says, "I preferred to help my father work on his garden. I've always been the one for outdoor chores anyway, while my sister squabbled about dishes and such." And from this, we can tell that Leah wants to always please her dad, and she doesn't feel like she's the same as her sisters. She differentiates herself by saying that she's always been one for outdoor chores, and uses the term squabble to describe her sisters because she thinks that she does not fit in with them. In the novel, Rachel says, "We tromped off to church in the same old shoes and dresses we'd worn all the other African Sundays so far." She then goes on to say no white gloves, it goes without saying, and no primping, because the only mirror we have in the house is my faux ivory hand mirror brought from home, which we all have to share. From this, we can infer that Rachel's self-conscious and bitter about being there. She describes material things vividly, so we can assume that she's shallow, and her diction shows that she's probably a teenager.
Yo, is she lost, bro?
Why is she on our table? She about to catch some hands.
Yo, she don't want the work. Why are you laughing? Yeah, there's a problem.
Why are you laughing? This is serious matter.
Why are you sitting sitting at our table.
I like this table because I like the shape.
Yeah, but we're here first. Don't you see my cup?
There are other tables out there.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we picked this table.
We picked this table.
I was here first.
I was having a good day. I was telling Drew about when I was hitting that whip at the game. Then I walk in and I saw Hannah sitting at our table. We literally always sit at this table every single day. And then I see her just sitting there laughing, acting like there's no problem. So then I tell Drew, what's wrong? Like, why is this girl sitting at our table? And I was ready to start a brawl. Like, I was ready to have a fight with her. And I told Hannah that I was ready to start a problem. If she had a problem, I was ready to end it right there, so we could get our table back.
Just walking to lunch and we walk in. Sean just sees this girl at our table. We sit there every day, but it's no matter. There's other tables. He flips out. I'm just going along with it because it's funny. Sean, not funny.
Sitting there in lunch, minding my own business, and then two guys walk in, and I was having a bad day, and then apparently there was a problem with me sitting at their table when there are other tables out there that are empty. So it kind of made my day even worse. My phone, because my friend sent me something really funny, and they thought I was laughing at them, but I was just laughing at my phone.
I saw her laughing. That really got on my nerves because, one, that's my table, and I don't think there's a laughing matter whatsoever. So I knew as soon as she started laughing that she was going to start a problem with me.
And then she started laughing, and I started laughing, and I knew it was going to be funny because when Sean gets heated, he thinks he can fight anybody. He thinks the big man on campus right there. That's about it. Sean, you need
I want that seat back.
Calm down, man. Just let it happen. Calm down.
No,
She have it.
we
It's
sit
okay.
here every single lunch. I don't
It's just
care.
the table,
You can
man.
sit right there.
Just the table.
This is our seat.
Sean, you need to calm down.
I don't want to leave
Sean,
the seat.
calm
This
down.
is our seat. I'm not going until you leave.
Sean,
This
get
isn't
up.
funny. Alright, fine. It's my seat. I don't care. I'll stay here even though it's not.
Come on.
Sit down, Drew. I got our table. Drew kept on telling me that we should go to another seat, but I mean, that's our seat, and I don't think that we should move. And Hannah just kept laughing, and she finally left at the end of the period. So I guess, all in all, we got our seat.
So she finally left, but it's so disrespectful. Sean would not go. I just want to go to the right table. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just the table. They're all in the shade. There's one table not in the shade, and the rest are available. Sean has some issues. Made the girl leave. Probably made her cry later on. Felt really bad. Because I felt like I bullied her.
He kept making a big deal out of it, and I was just so annoyed. Like, it pissed me off even more because I just wanted to sit there and study for my test. And I ended up just leaving because the lunch was over anyway.
So the purpose of our little skit was to offer different perspectives of a certain event that happens. In the Poisonwood Bible, the main type of formalism that you see is a bunch of different perspectives from the different narrators. And each chapter is told by a different narrator, and you just get a completely different feel. The tone changes, the imagery changes, the words that they use. I mean, with the youngest characters to the oldest characters, you can see a difference in the level of grammar. You're offered different perspectives. Drew's interview, his perspective was the more comical perspective. While Hannah's perspective was more the innocent kind of character, you were offered a perspective from someone who's passive. She was a little bit irritated by the situation, but she didn't have any true emotion. With my character's perspective, you were offered an angry perspective. I wasn't happy with the situation, and during the interview, you can get that tone. And I relate that to the Poisonwood Bible, or our group relates that to the Poisonwood Bible, because each character, you are offered their certain tone, which they'll carry throughout the Poisonwood Bible for certain events.
While using new criticism, it is always important to put your emotions aside. So while looking at this video, you have to put your emotions aside, not think about whether you think Hannah's nice, or Sean or Drew is nice or mean. You have to put your emotions aside so you can fully understand what's going on in the video.